Students, today we start chapter number 4 of NCERT class 10 and the chapter is agriculture. Now, before we start the chapter, we need to understand the word agriculture, its definition. So when I say the word agriculture, this word agriculture has been derived from the Latin word agricultura. Agricultura. Agricultura is a Latin word which is created by adding two words, that is agri and cultura. Agri means field, cultura means growing. So agriculture means field growing. If we come to the definition, we will see that agriculture is the science of farming, including cultivation of soil for growing of crops and rearing of animals to provide food, fiber and other essential product. So agriculture is a science of farming which includes cultivation of soil for growing of crops and rearing of animals to provide food, fiber and other essential products. The basic things of agriculture are food, feed and fiber. Now when I say food crops include rice, wheat, pulses, millets, tea, coffee, everything. Then we have feed. Now feed is the food crops for animals. We know animals also require food crops, like cattle needs feed, cattle and other livestock, they need food items, and these are called feed. And then fiber crop, fibers are those like cotton, jute and wool, all other things. So agriculture includes two things, and that is growing of food, rearing of animals. Growing of food and rearing of animals together form the livestock. So I think you understood what is agriculture. You have understood the word agriculture, you have understood the definition, you have understood what are the two factors that includes in agriculture, and what are the basic things that are produced in agriculture. Now we come down to types of farming. Farming are three types: primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming and commercial farming. Primitive subsistence farming, intensive subsistence farming and commercial farming. See the first two, if you see the first two types, you will see only one word is different, and that is primitive, and one has intensive. We will understand them one by one. Let's come down to the first one, primitive subsistence farming. Now what is primitive subsistence farming? Farming, or a system of farming that provides all or almost all the goods required by the farmer's family, usually without any significant surplus for sale. That means this type of farming is done by the farmer for its own, to fulfill its own needs, to survive, for survival purpose. The agriculture that is done by the farming community for survival, and survival for its own family without any significant surplus for sale. That means it does not have anything, whatever is grown in the fields, that is required by its family. There is nothing for sale. It does not have any excess goods for sale or food crops for sale. Continuing with the previous discussion, you have understood subsistence farming. Subsistence farming means anything that is any type of farming that is done for the purpose of survival. It is not for the purpose of sale. Now we come down for the first type of farming, and that is primitive subsistence farming. It is practiced in small patches of land with the help of primitive tools like hoe, dhow, digging stick, and family and community labor for self-consumption. This type of farming depends upon monsoon, natural fertility of the soil, and suitability of other environmental conditions to the crops grown. Now, primitive subsistence farming is done. Primitive, the word primitive you can understand old. It is a old practice of survival agriculture. It is done with primitive tools like dhow, hoe, digging stick, and the family members are the one. Only the family members help in this work. They work as laborers in their own field, and because they do it for their self help and self consumption. This type of farming depends upon two three things. They don't have modern irrigation facilities and all, so they depend on monsoon. They don't have fertilizers and pesticides and all those things, so they depend on natural fertility of the soil and suitability of other conditions for the crops grown. Different types of crops require different type of climate, so all the climatic condition, environmental conditions the required should be available naturally. Nothing is artificial in this type of farming. One of the examples of primitive subsistence farming is also known as slash and burn farming. Now, what is slash and burn farming? Let us understand. Slash and burn farming is a form of shifting cultivation. It is a form of shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation means cultivation which is not permanent in one place, which moves from one place to another. Actually, the agriculture does not move. The land in which the agriculture is practiced, it is changed for every now and then, or not now and then, not very often, but after 3 years, in which existing vegetation is cut down or burnt off before new seeds are sown, and typically used as a method of clearing the forest land for farming. So it is a type of farming. It is a type of shifting cultivation or agriculture. It is a method of farming in which the vegetation is cut down. First, the trees and the plants that are grown, that naturally has grown in the forest, that is cleared. How it is cleared? It is either cut down or it is burnt, and then new seeds are put into the soil, and this method is used to clear the forest land. This type of agriculture basically is done on forest land. Now let us understand what are the results of slash and burn farming. Now, slash and burn farming is done in the forest land. The forest is cleared, a part of the forest is cleared where agriculture is practiced for few years. Again, they move away to another plot of land. Now, why it is done and why they move away and why again they burn down this forest areas, it needs to be understood. The resulting layer provides the newly cleared land with the nutrient rich layer to help fertilize the crop. So when the plants are cut and they are burnt, the ash of the plant increases the fertility of the soil. So it enriches the soil. But this is a natural way of adding fertilizer. But this method, it can continue only for a couple of years, and after that it has to be again moved from one place. From the farming place, the land has to be shifted because the natural nutrient is used up within 2 or 3 years.